Hello guys, we are gonna give you a guide for the bosses in Mythic Plus, going over the mechanics and also showing you them at the same time. Alright, this is gonna be a guide for the Stonevault, the 4 bosses in Stonevault. Stonevault's a pretty hard dungeon IMO, especially on higher keys. It's got a lot of mechanics. Okay, so the first boss is like a big golem. He's just in a room. He's just a big golem, just a big golem. Big golem. And he does a couple things. So the main thing here is kind of a healer fight. So the tank will get a debuff, and the boss will cast Seismic Smash. The debuff, if you don't dispel it before Seismic Smash, will pretty much one-shot your tank. So this is on healers. You got to look for Seismic Smash, and you got to look on the debuff. Don't just dispel it randomly. You got to dispel it or have dispel before Seismic Smash. So that's it. That's it for healers and tanks. Other than that, you also should use a cooldown tank on Seismic Smash. He also puts he spawns 2 or 3 like rock things that come from the ground. It's just like a little indication here, and then it spawns. What you do with these is the other mechanic here is he puts beams on all the players. So these are like little fire beams on all the players. And what you want to do is you want to aim those beams onto the rock, so it kills the rock. If you don't kill the rock with the beams, it empowers the boss, makes the boss do more damage. But usually there's like 2 or 3 rocks, and there's 5 of you, so usually melee don't have to do this. Usually it's more on range to do this. You don't really need to use a defensive versus. They don't hit super hard unless you're on super high keys, but you can as DPS in range and shit use a defensive on those. That's really it for the first boss. It's pretty much tank and spank, just a healer fight, dispel the healer tank fight, just dispel and just kill the rocks with the AoE. Nothing really to it. First boss is pretty easy. The second boss, depending on who you do, if we go left side, he's a big rock guy. He's a big like angry rock guy, like a devilish angry rock guy. Yeah, that's like an angry rock. He's a big rock guy. What he does is he spawns ads in the room. He spawns ads in the room. These little crystals. I think there's 3, or maybe there's 4 of them. I think there can be 4. And these usually get automated mark by some add-on. But what you want to do is you don't want to kill them all at once. They die really quick. But you want to kill them pretty much 1 or 2 at a time, because they leave a nasty debuff that does a lot of damage on higher keys. You pretty much want to do 1 or 2 at a time. And they'll leave a nasty debuff, and they'll do a ton of damage. If you do 3, you'll probably just wipe the group, unless everyone uses like cooldowns or something like that. They drop a orb at the end of it, which I'll explain what it's for in a second. And this happens twice, and then he goes into another phase. So he spawns these, you kill them all. If you don't kill them all, he'll add to a shield that's going to come up. So you want to kill them all, but you want to spread it out, kill 1 or 2 at a time. And then it's going to happen 1 more time, and you're going to do the same thing. These things drop black balls when they die. And what these balls do is you want to pick these up decently quick. After the second time he spawns these, he'll have like a big shield and do big AoE damage. And the less you kill, the bigger the shield is. And the more you kill, the less bigger the shield is, obviously. And when you pick up the black balls after you kill these, you deal more damage to the shield, so you get past the phase faster. And that's why you want to pick those up. That's pretty much it. It's pretty hard because people kill too many, or it's not coordinated, especially in pugs. It's pretty hard to pug it and higher keys. But that's pretty much all this boss does. That's it. It's hard though. It's easy, but it's hard because people will mess it up. All right, the third boss, Stonevault, is a fire guy. It's a room like this, pretty much a square room. There's like a portion over here and here, but you don't even worry about that. And what happens is there's these flame vents on each corner. And this is where you start. You enter from here. And there's 2 bosses. One's actually Golem. The left guy's actually bigger. And there's 2 bosses. There's one, a caster. You want to put this guy on focus because the cast hits everyone in the team, and it does a lot of damage. And the big guy just melees and does melee things. What happens is you cleave him for a while. Eventually, this first guy, the humanoid who casts, he'll run away to the side here, where he'll have a big boulder, basically a big stone boulder. And what he'll do is he'll throw this boulder, he'll push this boulder all the way across. And so you don't want to be in the middle or you die. This is death right here. So, you know, that's on tanks to position and you to position to not be in the middle. After that, he'll also cast when he's out there. I'm actually going to skip the solo shuffle for you guys. He'll actually cast when he's out here, so you want to range to kick him when he's out here, and usually melee kick when he's, you know, on you guys. After that, he'll come back. So he'll be like this again. After like 20 seconds or something like that, he'll fire up vents. These vents, he'll fire these up, and I'll change the color. I'll do a little orange. And there'll be 3 vents that have fire on it. It's a cast from the small caster. There'll be 3 vents that have fire on it and 1 vent that doesn't have fire on it. So in this next phase, like 20 seconds after he pushes it across, the big guy will go get it, and he'll pull the big boulder into the middle. And once the big boulder's in the middle, it's gonna have huge fire orbs coming out on all corners. It'll basically consume the whole room, except the vent that is right here. The vent that's not on fire, the whole team has to be there. You take a big amount of damage, so defensive cooldown. And if you're not on this vent that is not on fire, you will die. That's the hard part of this fight, is having the tank know where the vent is and everyone being at the vent. After that phase, it's just rinse and repeat. After that phase, you don't really need to worry about the vent until the big guy. You basically just need to worry about the vent when the big guy's turn to come in. And that's it. It's rinse and repeat, kicks. It's hard because you got to coordinate where the vent is, and everyone needs to be there and not just randomly die. A lot of people randomly die. There's also a bunch of fire that spawns around the fight and all that. But it's not actually hard. It's just hard with pugs and in a group. All right, and that's it for that boss. The next boss is in a circular room. Actually, the trash before him is insane. So just to let you guys know, the trash before him, it spawns totems, and the totems will one-shot your entire group. You need to make sure you kill the totems. Also, some mobs in this cast fear, which is really scary. You need to interrupt fear, and the totems will hit really hard and interrupt all of the casts as much as you can. This guy is like a dwarf that like ate the stones and stuff. He's like corrupted and stuff like that. He has 2 portals in his room that suck. These portals, they suck. And so when you pull them, you pull him to the middle of the room, like right here. And what happens is he'll put a debuff on people. That debuff will tick for like 1 million, or you know, depending on how the key is, it'll tick for a lot of damage. And how you get the debuff off is you have to run to the suck, and it'll suck the debuff off into the nether. When it does suck the debuff off into the nether, it'll respawn in another position so other people can get the suck, but it won't be there anymore. It'll respawn. That's probably the main mechanic here, is to make sure you get your debuff sucked as soon as possible, because it does a lot of damage. Another one is he'll constantly put debuff on all the players, which is like a little circle around all the players. After like 3 or 4 seconds, it'll drop and it'll stay there for a while. So you would just want to drop those like at the edge, like right there. You just want to drop these debuffs at the edge of the circle. They'll just time out after like 2 or 3 seconds and drop. Other than that, he does a Kamehameha kind of thing where he just pizzas the room with big damage. Just avoid the pizza. And that's it. That's Stonevault. This boss isn't that hard. The first and the fourth boss isn't hard, but the second and third boss are pretty hard. And that's Stonevault.